And like, what do you get out of trying to put someone down? What's in it for you? Okay, let's be clear on something. This is, according to some people right here, an entry-level Rolex. This Rolex OP, this one's a 41 millimeter in the Rolex green. I don't think that there is such a thing as an entry-level Rolex. When people use this word, they like to say, oh, you have the cheap Rolex. Well, this watch is going to set you back about $7,000 if you can get one from an AD. I got lucky. I got mine in about 3 to 4 months when I asked for it. Got very lucky, and my AD actually likes me. But to say a thing like that's an entry-level watch is absolutely crazy when you are paying $7,000 for something. This is a beautiful watch by any standard. And again, it's $7,000. If you go on the gray market and you want one today in mint like new condition, you're looking probably between, eight to $10,000, depending on the condition. If it's new, unworn, mint, blah, whatever. But it is an expensive watch. The average person in this country is struggling to pay their bills. And I think sometimes we in the watch community tend to forget that the average salary in America is still about $50,000. And we're talking spending, $7, $8, $10, $15,000 on a wristwatch. Like sometimes we have to come back to reality. That there is no such thing as an entry-level Rolex. As you go on about your day, if you live in a regular neighborhood and you live in a regular world, you're not some rich person surrounded by rich people all day long. 99.9% of people are not going to have a Rolex on their wrist. It's just not a thing. You walk into Hy-Vee, Target, Walmart, anything like that, you might be the only person in the entire store 99.99% of the time with a Rolex on your wrist. I don't think you guys realize how rare it is to see these things in the wild. Again, if you live somewhere like in LA or you're in Manhattan or something like that, yeah, you're going to see these all over the place. The expensive parts of the world. Yes, you will see Rolexes all over the place. But most of the world, most America, when you walk into a place, like I said, you walk into a store, you're going to be one of the few people with a watch on like this. Or if you go to the pool and you're swimming with your Rolex on, you're going to be one of the very few people in the entire area with a Rolex on your wrist. Just understand that before, we get too snobby in this watch collecting hobby and we go, oh, that's an entry-level Rolex. That's an entry, then especially when you start talking about entry-level Pateks, entry-level APs, entry-level Vacherons. Like, when's the last time you saw an AP in the state I live? I live in Iowa. I've seen at one wedding in my entire time doing this, I've seen one AP. That's it. And I knew the guy, and he's very wealthy. But otherwise, you just don't see luxury watches on people. So I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about when you talk about, oh, that's a cheap Rolex, that's a cheap AP, that's a cheap Patek. And most of the time, people who are saying these things don't even have one of their own. So it would make no sense for me to go, oh, that's just an entry-level Ferrari. That's just an entry-level Lamborghini that you got from the dealer. I don't have a Lambo. I don't have a Ferrari. So what the hell am I doing trying to put your purchase down if you just bought the entry level? I don't think... what are we doing, guys? How snobby have we become to talk about things like a Rolex as a cheap entry-level Rolex? That's really crazy. And I see it in the comments, not my videos because not that many people watch my videos, but I see it in the comments of other videos. Oh, that's a cheap Rolex. That's an entry-level Rolex. That's blah, blah, blah. That is a crazy thing to say. Because like I said, you walk in with any Rolex into any place, and chances are you're going to be one of the very few people wearing one of these watches. Any Rolex. Or sometimes even Omega for that part. Absolutely love this green on the Omega. But hopefully this makes sense and we can stop with the snobbery. Brenny bought himself a Daytona Panda, the black dial, and I've seen some comments, oh, you should have saved money for the Panda dial. You should. When is the last time you went out and about your life, grocery shopping or something, and you saw a Panda Rolex? When? I know 2 people who have one, and they barely ever wear them. I saw one a couple of weeks ago, but that was it. I hadn't seen one for like at least 8 months out in the wild. So, and again, when's the last time you saw a black Panda? Probably never. But you're going to be on someone else's video talking about, oh, that's the cheaper Panda. Just like I used the car analogy. You can't you're driving in a Toyota Camry and someone passes by you in a Lambo. You're like, ha, look at them. All they can afford is the entry-level Lambo. You're in a Camry. Not that Camrys are bad cars. They're great cars. They're going to run forever. But you get my point. Sometimes you just have to let people appreciate the things they've managed to attain for themselves. And like, what do you get out of trying to put someone down? What's in it for you? Would you like someone to do that to you about anything? Probably not. So let people enjoy their stuff. You enjoy your stuff. Don't be jealous. There's plenty of watches that I see on YouTube and out and about that I would love to have. I've never once said, screw that guy. He's got that, and that's an entry-level AP or something. No. If anything, I always walk up to them like, hey, man, that's a beautiful watch. Hopefully, one day, I can get one like that. That would be great. But until then, I'm going to love my Omega Seamaster. So, don't be a snob.